Yeah, it's a wonderful day to be alive. Thanks for staying tuned to your station, the Africa Independent Television, and welcome to your program, Security Watch Africa. On this program, we'll bring you information you need to keep your life safe and secure. Right now, this day, it's a very remarkable day and an activity-full day in Ekiti State, southwestern part of Nigeria, where the gubernatorial election is taking place. And a lot of things have been said about that election. And today is the D-Day. And information we're getting is that even in some areas, voting has started and the turnout has been so immense. But I'm not there physically, but I have the man who is the ever ready at any time to make sure that peace and security thrive. A man who is untiring, a man who has committed everything about him to ensuring security, who is on ground, who has been charged to ensure that everything is peaceful. He has been there doing a yeoman's job. And so he's going to be talking to us on what is happening in Ekiti State. I'm talking about the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operation, this DIG Abela Joshak, who is a veteran of so many elections. So we know that the Ekiti election is just a piece of the cake for him. I know that he will come out doing wonderful things there. But let's hear from him about what is happening in Ekiti. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, and thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. First, let's start from what some people have said. Some people had accused police of policing the election, that 30,000 policemen is too much, that there are some other areas that should have these men. I know that you are the commander of those 30,000 policemen and other security agencies that are there. Would you say that that number is too much for that election, sir?
That number is never too much for that election because the deployment was done based on intelligence after going through what we call risk analysis and looking at what assignment we should do. So everybody is tied down to a particular activity. And if you ask anybody on the street now, they will tell you there's no militarization and there's no police officer that is idling. Neither is there anyone that is carrying out any activities that is untoward. And so we're just having enough, particularly for all the activities and the protection of critical infrastructure and, of course, patrol. That is all that we're doing here.
Okay. I know that you are there, you have an AIG with you and several commissioners of police and several people and other security services coming over there. So far, how is the deployment in terms of police presence? Are the people feeling the presence right now? Is it giving them confidence to come out to cast their vote?
Yes, it's polling unit. We've captured 4, 5, and 6 at most each of the polling units. People are excited. The press are everywhere. I have run across TVC. I've gone across AIT. I've gone across channels and other media that are around. The turnout is very encouraging. The security provision is very, very good. I can also tell you that the process is very, very civil. Okay. I am speaking to you at Iworo Ititi, by one Eleri Oluwa Parish, one of Celestial Church of Christ, where we have the students and it's known for cultism. And we're here, people are going about their activities unmolested.
Okay. The reports we're getting is that the turnout has been massive. Would you say it's because of the confidence that they believe that the security is tight to protect them, that is why people are coming out in mass?
Possibly so. And you remember too that we all went to a training by INEC and also by civil society, and we want to comply with all that. And so we're very, very civil. And those that are armed are taken off. Nobody that is armed is near any polling unit. I think the electors also are very calm, and they're very, very anxious. And their elections have been completed in some few polling units. And so I can assure you that all is well. Over.
Yes, sir. As a grand commander of the whole force that is there now to provide security, what assurance are you giving to Nigerians? Because some people are saying that this election is a prelude to the coming general election in 2019. What assurance will you be giving to the Nigerians?
For Nigerians, I want all of you to be process of this lovable democratic process that will bring dividends. But better still, I want to ask and beg of all Nigerians, particularly the citizens here, not to sell their votes. Because we could still see some people trying to go around, and they look, well, of course, not here, but the last election there were people who tried to influence them monetarily. We do not want any one of them now, because it's a very enlightened society, not to be enticed with some checkering money. And I think that will not happen. And at the end, they will be very happy with the decision that made the governor come this week.
Okay. I know that you're on the move. You are going from one point to the other. We wish you a successful turnout of events at the end of the election, sir.
Thank you, Patrick, for having me, and goodbye.
Okay. Bye, sir. Yeah, that was the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operation, talking about in person of DIG Abila Joshak. He's a man who have seen so many elections and supervised so many elections, and so we won't be surprised to have a very successful security turnout in that election in Ekiti State. Yes, let's continue with the other programs of the activity. Segment of today's program, because I know that the Ekiti election, before the end of the day, the results will be coming out. Like the DIG did say that some places have concluded they are voting already. Yes, during the week, the previous week, the Nigerian Army did celebrated the Nigerian Army Day celebration in Mungunu, and the north part of Borno State, that is even the farther north, you would say, of Nigeria, where the Boko Haram terrorists had held sway at taking over the community. But this community was liberated by the Nigerian Army when Lieutenant General Tuku Yusuf Buratai took over, and to demonstrate that indeed the Nigerian Army had drastically, if not totally, downgraded the Boko Haram element. The Nigerian Army Day celebration took place in Mungunu, where the commander-in-chief himself, talking about President Muhammadu Buhari, attended the occasion. I will not unveil everything that happened there, because the report by Security Watch Africa, Ernest Enenuku, will reveal that. Sit back and watch this report on the final day of the Nigerian celebration.
Mungunu community, the headquarters of Mungunu local government area of Borno State, a town that was once under the captivity of Boko Haram, depriving its inhabitants of the freedom they once enjoyed and their economic relevance in the Nigerian state. Today is economically viable, with lots of promises to contribute their quota to the economic growth of Nigeria. The Nigerian Army Day celebration, NATSA 2018, was a total departure from its usual show of military strength, as it was aimed at proving to Nigerians and indeed the entire world that Mungunu, Borno State, and the entire Northeast is safer and ready to attract local and foreign investors. Following the return of peace to the once troubled zone and the eventual launch of Operation Last Hold, which is geared towards relocating the internally displaced persons, IDPs, back to their communities, the Nigerian Army, under the leadership of Lieutenant General Tuku Yusuf Buratai, has continued to support the returnees through its non-kinetic approach to sustain the much-needed peace in the Northeast. NATSA 2018 Grand Finale, which held at the 8th Division of the Nigerian Army, Mungunu, Borno State, had as special guest of honor the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari. President Buhari was accompanied by the Borno State Governor, Kashim Shettima, and all service chiefs led by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Bayomi Gabriel Onishaki. President Muhammadu Buhari at the occasion reassured Nigerians and the entire world that his administration is working hard to ensure that the remaining Tachi schoolgirl, Lee Sharibu, the remaining Chibok girls, and others still in Boko Haram captivity regain their freedom soon. President Buhari promised to fish out and punish politicians who are instigating violence in some states of the Federation in their quest for relevance in the country's political landscape. He also promised to bring to an end the farmers' headers crisis in some states of the Federation.
It is gratifying to hear on a daily basis the progress of our gallant troops as they carry out clearance operations along the fringes of Lake Chad waters and northern Borno. Members of the Boko Haram insurgents now surrender willingly in their numbers to our troops. I am happy to inform Nigerians that all other forms of security challenges in other parts of the country are being tackled by our security agencies accordingly. May I commend the Chief of Defense Staff, Chief of Army Staff, and all other service chiefs for their role in leading our gallant troops to protect the country and its people. It is evident that we are now in the post-conflict stabilization phase, which has been made possible by the good work of the armed forces. I therefore task all other relevant government agencies with immediate effect to begin to perform their respective roles in this post-stabilization phase.
It was also an opportunity for the President to reassure the officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army of his administration's support to ensure that they are well catered for, even as they continue to give their best in providing security for all Nigerians.
I am aware that many have paid the supreme price in order to make us live without fear. To these gallant heroes, I say your sacrifices will never be in vain. May the Almighty God continue to grant them all eternal rest. To those that are in service, be assured that this administration will continue to support and provide you with the means to perform your duties efficiently and effectively. Furthermore, let me assure all our servicemen and women that the issue of their welfare is paramount to this administration. Basic infrastructure such as barracks, accommodation, water, health, and so many others are undergoing rehabilitation. I believe our gallant troops who give their all deserve the very best. I applaud the courage of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tiwa Burtai, for identifying the role and the relevance of research and development to the advancement of the Army and the nation.
Earlier in his address, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuku Yusuf Buratai, thanked President Muhammadu Buhari for gracing the celebration, saying that his support of the Nigerian Army is responsible for the successes recorded so far against security challenges in the country. The Chief of Army Staff added that this year's Nigerian Army Day celebration is unique in the sense that it showcases the economic potentials of Borno State and the technological advancement of the Nigerian Army in research and innovation, which resulted in the exhibition of various equipment manufactured by the Nigerian Army and indigenous firms.
The Nigerian Army has keyed into the policy drive of Mr. President and is ever willing to contribute its quota to national security and economic development. I am sure by now we are all aware that the Nigerian Army is currently conducting Operation Last Hold here in northern Borno. This operation is a unique humanitarian operation as it is aimed at facilitating the return of internally displaced persons from the various camps back to their ancestral homes. It is also aimed at providing the much-needed security for our farmers to return to their farms during this planting season and beyond. Following the degradation of the Boko Haram insurgents, it is now time for our people who were caught in the midst of the fight against the Boko Haram terrorists to return to their ancestral homes. So far, Your Excellency, in Gudumbali district alone, more than 25,000 farmers who were formerly internally displaced persons have returned back home within a period of just 1 week.
It was all thanks and appreciation to the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, and his service chiefs, especially the Nigerian Army, for their roles in defeating the dreaded Boko Haram by the host governor, Kashim Shettima.
I want to thank you on behalf of the governments and people of the Northeast for the empathy, for the support you have shown to us, and want to thank the Nigerian Armed Forces for saving us from the precipice. We have come to the end of the insurgency. We have crossed the Rubicon, and we are on a path to sustain peace. We might have hiccups, as I have always said, but to us, even suicide bombing by the Boko Haram is a sign of weakness, not of strength by the insurgents.
President Muhammadu Buhari, on arrival, commissioned the first Indigenous Mines Resistance and Bush Protector (MRAP) vehicle, which is a great technological innovation in the fight against insurgency.
Welcome back. It was really a milestone for Lali. One would want to congratulate the leadership of the Nigerian Army in person led by Lieutenant General Tuku Yusuf Buratai for carrying out that event. That exercise, I must say, was quite remarkable, and being able to attract no less a person than the Commander-in-Chief himself to come over. A lot of people were saying that the Commander-in-Chief would not come and all that, but when he arrived, it was a celebration galore, particularly for the soldiers themselves. The soldiers were happy to see their Commander-in-Chief in person, and that actually had motivated them the more and charged them to ensure that the last operation to totally eliminate these Boko Haram elements are carried out with the launch of the Operation Last Hold. We want to say that is a very good idea, that should be supported by everywhere, meaning Nigerian, to make Nigeria safer. And like the President said, and which the Chief of Army Staff emphasized in subsequent edition of this program, we'll bring you our interview with him, where he emphasized that any part of the country where there is insecurity and the army is called in, that the army will do their best to ensure that security is provided. We must, at this juncture, congratulate the Nigerian Army for doing a yeoman's job. It wasn't only the men, also to say, the soldiers and the officers that took part in the activities of NASEL, that is talking about the Nigerian Army Day celebration 2018. The wives of officers of the Nigerian Army also did wonderfully well, adding to the life of the people who are returning home. Security Watch Africa also was in the team that covered the wife of the Chief of Army Staff, who is also the national president of now is the Nigerian Army Officers' Wife Association. And so we'll bring you the report of what the NOWA did at the last days of the NASEL 2018.
This year's Nigerian Army Day celebration, NASEL 2018, was not just for officers and soldiers alone. Their spouses were also involved. The wife of the Chief of Army Staff and National President, Nigerian Army Officers' Wife Association, NAOA, Mrs. Umar Kalsum Tuku Buratai, led members of the association to commission some projects and carry out humanitarian activities in Borno State to help the returnees settle in quickly. The Mai Malari Cantonment Maiduguri, home of NAOA Daycare and Nursery School, can now boast of a primary school and a newly constructed Wolf Unity Cooperative Society Secretariat, courtesy of the immediate past chairperson, Nawa 7th Division Chapter, Mrs. Talatu Gimba Yusuf, through assistance from officers of Nigerian Army, Borno State Government, and well-meaning Nigerians. Before commissioning the well-equipped block of 3 classrooms and 6 toilets for the pupils and a well-furnished Wolf Unity Cooperative Society Secretariat, the wife of the Chief of Army Staff, Mrs. Buratai, stated that the education of the child must be taken seriously and that Nawa schools all over the Federation is out to give quality and affordable education to children of officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army and to the public.
The commissioning of this project will no doubt boost one of the main thrusts of Nawawa's key objective, which is basically complementing the Nigerian Army's efforts and indeed the federal government in provision of quality, affordable education and healthcare services in our barracks and the surrounding communities. This project is therefore a welcome development and a commendable initiative of expanding the facilities in the school. While we commemorate the Nigerian Army Day Celebration 2018, I am also delighted to commission the 7th Division of Unity Cooperative Society Office. This is also a laudable initiative, and it will provide the avenue for all the wives, children, and wards of serving and diseased personnel to access microfinance loan to support their small-scale enterprises in line with the Barracks Investment and Initiative Program of the Chief of Army Staff. Let me remind you all of the need to engage in gainful ventures and avoid idleness. Now that we have a cooperative secretariat where you can come to explore opportunities for obtaining microloans, I urge you to take good advantage of this initiative to expand your business for a better living. Please avoid over-dependence on your spouses and engage yourselves in gainful skill ventures.
Mrs. Buratai, accompanied by officials of NAOA and other dignitaries present, officially commissioned the newly constructed classrooms and took a tour around the facility.
I commissioned these blocks of classroom to the glory of God and for service to humanity. Bismillah.
The classroom, a block of 3 classrooms. We have the first class here, which has a capacity of accommodating over 40 students. But however, for now, we have just 20 so that to give it space for ventilation. The windows, we put these windows so that there will be ventilation for the students.
The Nawa president and her entourage visited Tungushi community, an internally displaced persons IDP camp, Konduga, Borno State, as part of the Nigerian Army Day celebration to put smiles on the face of the women and children in the community. Women and children of Tungushi community and Konduga IDP camp trooped out in their numbers to welcome the wife of the Chief of Army Staff, Mrs. Buratai, and her team, who came with bags of rice, dozens of mattresses and pillows, clothes, and lots of household items to alleviate the suffering of the women and children.
Welcome back. It's good to give to the society. We must commend the wife of the Chief of Army Staff for doing that because when you give, you receive. NOWA, the entire management, the leadership of NOWA, we must say kudos for doing that because you have shown that as mothers and as leaders, you want to add to the lives of those who are around you. Kudos for that. Yet, one thing that is very, very important, it's the area of security and engaging the youth and students in making sure that the communities and the societies are well secured because it's said that the youth are more vibrant and they are leaders of tomorrow if they are not engaged in security architecture of any community. then that security in that area will fail. We have a very wonderful example in Enugu State, where the Commissioner of Police is like a father to all the students in Enugu State, and it has been demonstrated over and over that he has an open-door policy with them and interact with them at any given time. And that was it's the reason why the National Association of Nigerian Students Leadership in the Southeast decided to visit him and to felicitate with him and to congratulate him for providing good leadership, quality leadership to policing in that state. Sit back as Security Watch Africa bring you clips of activities that happened when NAS executive led by Comrade Chidi visited the Commissioner of Police, CP Damalam Mohammed.
And of the greatest Boza! Boza! 3 American Boza for the working CP of Enugu State. Boza! 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 Two Ebolas to his enemies. Ebola! Ebola! We are students from Enugu State, from Anambra State, from Imo State, from Ebonyi State, and from Abia State, from Nigeria. And we are here to reaffirm our unalloyed support and loyalty to your office, because we want what is happening in Enugu to happen in other states of Nigeria. Yes. And that is why the students of Nigeria have decided to partner with your office, Daddy. Daddy, since his inception of office or administration as the Commissioner of Police Enugu State has never in its history or in her history recorded the kind of peace and tranquility it's receiving right now. Since Daddy came on board, Enugu State has been recorded as one of the most peaceful, in fact, the most peaceful states in Nigeria. Two fundamental Boza! 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 And you would not know why these things are happening. We sleep with our 2 eyes closed every day. You come to the streets of Enugu State, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Nobody harasses you. You're not harassed by the police. You're not harassed by hoodlums. Your phones are not snatched. You can go anywhere you want to go to, enjoy yourself, and be sure that you go back to your houses peacefully without being harmed. It is because of one man that God has decided to work through to restore peace and sanity to Enugu State. And this is the singular reason why the students of Enugu State have said, Daddy, we know no other person but you for the support we've been receiving, for the good things we've been doing in Enugu State. We have decided to confer on you the National Life Patron of NANT in Nigeria. Daddy has done so much. So adding to his title, we also want to add Comrade. Yes. Permit me to introduce to you, Comrade CP Damalam Mohammed.
Under democratic policing, our amiable leader, the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim K. Idris Emanai, encourage us to partner with members of public to checkmate the activities of criminals. Students, you are one of the important stakeholders we have. We are conscious of the fact that you are the future leaders of this country. You are our pride, you are the future of this country. We are ready to partner with you to make sure that not only in the whole of Nigeria experience stability. You all know the current security challenges facing the country. Yes. Even though, if you remember, before 2015, the situation was very, very bad. Yes. But the present administration made effort to defeat Boko Haram, that is insurgency and terrorism. Yes. And currently, the president is making effort to ensure that he nip in the book the activities of headsmen and other criminal or militia groups in the country. So we need your cooperation. Give us intelligence. Wherever you know criminals are, give us intelligence, and we promise you that we are going to utilize it to maximum, and we are going to check the activities of criminals. Criminals, wherever they are in this part of the country, they should start running. Yes. Because the government is ready, we are going to battle them, we are going to face them. Enugu is very peaceful and calm. Yes. Any attempt by anybody to cause trouble in Enugu, we are going to resist it with maximum force. Yes. So we need your cooperation. When the comrade said, I brought peace in, no, it's not me, it is you people. It's with support of members of our league we achieve stability in this Enugu. So please, we are appealing to you to continue to partner with us to fight crime.
I must say that really, when the police work closely with the people, then the main objective of their work of policing is easier for them to achieve, because the people are those you are supposed to police, and when they give you information and you do what they need, what they are supposed to get, then you are working in synergy to provide an enabling environment for business to thrive and for life to be secured and protected. Enugu is one very good example. Like Security Watch Africa had consistently said it, that Enugu is an example to emulate by all standards in terms of security. The Commissioner of Police Enugu State, CP Damala Mohammed, and his team are doing yeoman's job, and they must be commended for what they're doing and be encouraged to do more. We have mapped out a lot of series of reports all over the Federation, and from what we're getting, Enugu is still leading and want other commands to emulate what they are doing. During the week, precisely on Friday, on Thursday, which was July 12th, the managing director of AIE, talking in person of Dr. Mrs. Oluwatosi Dokwesi, marked her birthday at 1 year old. I must say that Tosi Dokwesi had proven to be an exceptional woman. She's an epitome of caring leader and a visionary leader also, a passionate person that should be encouraged in what she's doing. She has made sure that this station remain stable and stand and perfect the way it is. And she has remained one of the strongest pillars of this program, Security Watch Africa, because she has been with us all through. And incidentally, Security Watch Africa shares the same day with her, because on that same July 12th, in 1997, Security Watch Africa came on air on this channel. So Security Watch Africa is also 21 years. How time flies. We have been bringing this information. We want to say happy birthday, Dr. Mrs. Oluwatosi Dokwesi. We love you so much. The entire crew of Security Watch Africa, and I'm sure the whole Dark Communication family, say happy birthday to you. On that note, we must leave because other programs must continue, so that we won't take up the whole time. Until we come your way again next week, I would say remain blessed and bye for now.